The original M50 cans from Japanese audio specialist Audio Technica were well received by the media and users alike, with 90% plus ratings across the web. Any criticisms were relatively minor given the price point, but the company took note and tried to address these in the latest version, the M50X, which is available for under $120 online. Did they succeed? Well, I've been using them daily for several weeks now, so let's find out. I'm going to avoid talking too much about the sound produced by these headphones, as it's incredibly subjective. It depends what music you like, what kind of sound you like, and even your own ears, which will all have an impact on your listening experience. Some people claim to be audiophiles with special golden ears, but when it comes to any audio product, you need to buy what sounds good to you, not what some self-proclaimed expert thinks. If you're curious, I personally find the sound from the M50Xs to be relatively flat, which means that they don't emphasize any frequency range over any other. There is a slight bass boost, but not too much. Personally, I find it quite pleasing, and they do go pretty low, although the bass isn't as tight as I'd like. But we're not talking Beats levels of bass boosting here. For short sessions of listening to music, you may prefer different headphones, ones that emphasize sound in the way that's most pleasing to you. But if you want something that can handle any kind of music, or you're mixing audio for example, something like the M50Xs with a flat response is actually more appropriate. These are closed-back headphones, and as the name suggests, the back of the drivers, the part that you see when you're wearing them, is closed or sealed. This means that they don't leak sound as much, so if that's an important consideration to you, perhaps you're wearing them in a shared office or you don't want to disturb your roommate, you definitely want to go with closed-back. The downside to this is the soundstage isn't as broad as it is in open-back designs, which means that the placement of individual sounds or members of a band isn't as clear. Good open-backed headphones are likely better for gaming, as they help you locate the position of the enemy fire a little bit better. But these will still be better than any gaming headset, no matter the price. Build-wise, you're not going to find fancy materials at this price point. They're mostly plastic, but they feel pretty robust. They won't be indestructible, but they'll put up with most reasonable handling. The earpads are a man-made leather or pleather, but as these are over-the-ear, not on-the-ear cans, it's of less importance. They feel fine and my ears don't get too warm, but I do let fresh air in from time to time. The headband, embossed with the Audio Technica name, is reasonably padded, not luxuriously so, but it feels comfortable on my head, and the adjustment range is actually pretty generous. It's nice to have the markings and notched mechanism, especially if you share the headphones with someone or fold them down for transport regularly. I find this especially useful as I carry them to and from the office every day. Speaking of transport, they come with this nice drawstring bag embossed with the Audio Technica name, which doesn't offer any crush protection like hard cases, but it stops scratches. Again, you can't expect too much at this price point. Now we come to one of the main improvements over their predecessors, removable cables. This is actually a big deal, as in my experience, constant twists and yanks mean the cable is the first thing to go on any otherwise decently built pair of headphones. If the cable fails, you can simply swap it out. Sadly, it's a proprietary cable, but still. And on this note, Audio Technica have kind of gone above and beyond, as they include 3 cables in the box: a 9-foot straight cable, a 9-foot coiled cable, and a shorter 3-foot straight cable. I use the 9-foot straight cable at home with the cord running around my desk neatly, and when I take the cans to work, I simply unplug that cable, which twists and locks in by the way. Then I use the smaller straight cable to connect to my work laptop in the office, and that's plenty long enough for standing up or leaning back in the chair on a conference call. This particular version of the M50X is the M50X DG, which is a limited edition matte grey version. Aside from the colour, which they also carried over to the bag and cables, which is a nice touch, they're the same as the regular version, which is black with a chrome trim line around the logo. The limited edition model retails at around $190 on Amazon, and that's a huge markup over the regular version that sells for under $120. The M50X is a huge seller, so if you want to stand out, you're going to have to pay a real premium, but it's kind of hard to justify that kind of price hike. If you're spending around $120 to $180 and you'll be wearing your headphones for long sessions, and your primary use is mixing audio or you don't want to disturb those around you, you should definitely give these an audition. If you don't need to be concerned about sound leakage and you listen to a lot of a specific type of music, be it EDM, acoustic instruments and vocals, or classical, whatever, there may be something that's a better fit. But as an affordable, comfortable, do-it-all pair of headphones, I give the Audio Technica ATH-M50x my recommended rating. If you found this review helpful, let me know by hitting the like button and dropping me a comment, and check out some of my other reviews and how-tos, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos.